Well, this is the story of Michael Rozbruch. It all started in Brooklyn, New York in 1955, and my father was a Holocaust survivor. And I think that had a lot to do with my values and how I was brought up. But from an early age, I remembered my father taking me along on excursions whenever he purchased anything, whether he bought a suit or a pair of shoes or a car. I remember him negotiating. And whatever the retail price was or the sticker price on an object never meant anything to my father. And in a lot of cases, I was embarrassed because he would go in, if there was a suit on the rack for, let's say, $125, this is going back a few years, he would walk out of the store for a suit for 75 bucks or two of them for $100. And I couldn't believe that he was able to do that just by asking and keep asking and saying, no, that's not a good price, and coming back to what he wanted to spend. And that really stuck in me. And that is one of the major reasons why I'm successful in negotiating with the IRS. The other reason is, and the reason I do this work is, it is so self-rewarding for me to actually fight for a client who I know is in the right. People shouldn't be penalized because they fell on hard times and are not able to pay their bills. I mean, everybody makes a mistake. Sometimes we make more than one mistake. People always deserve a second chance. And what we do is we basically save people's financial lives. You could say we save their life, because if you save their financial life, everything else about their life gets better. And I always wanted to fight for, not the little guy, but I always wanted to fight for what's right. And I have seen I've been doing this 15 years now, and prior to 15 years, I was about 18 years in the corporate world, in the finance area, in accounting and taxation. And I quickly learned that the IRS doesn't use emotion or a connectability to human beings. I mean, they have a job to do, yes, but they don't take into account the circumstances of what happened to that person that got them into the shape they're in right now. And we're very particular about what cases we take, in other words, what clients we represent. We turn away probably half the number of people that call us that want to hire us, because we only take cases that we know we have a high likelihood of solving, and we only take cases where the individual got into trouble, usually through no fault of their own, especially these days with the economy being the way it is, with people losing trillions of dollars of value in their real estate, in their homes. Incomes are way down over the last 4, 5, 6 years. All of these factors, people losing jobs, having to go in and deplete their retirement savings to live on. And as you know, when you deplete a 401k or an IRA, not only do you have to pay the regular income tax, but you're penalized as well. You have to pay a 10% penalty to the IRS. And a lot of times, by taking that money, it brings you up into a higher tax bracket. So you really get whipsawed on trying to do the right thing. And these are the folks that we take as clients. These are the folks that we want to give them a second chance at their financial life. And we know, the other thing too is when you call the IRS, and the IRS, granted, has 100,000 employees. It's the largest governmental agency in the United States. Most of the people are good. Most of the people who work there are good. But there's a handful of them who have unbridled authority. And they know that, and they want to make themselves bigger than they are. And for instance, a lot of the people we speak to at the IRS are lower level service people, probably making $12 or $13 an hour, and they have my client's financial life in their hand. So we know how to elevate the case, escalate the case, get it out of the lower level employees into appeals at the higher level. And there we're dealing with folks who have a lot more education. They've been around the block a lot longer. They've been working with the IRS a lot longer, and they've, like us, have seen all kinds of cases, and their mission at the appellate level is to settle cases. 85% of the cases brought before appeals settle. And you know, I always say a good compromise in anything, with the IRS or in life, is that every side goes away hurting just a little bit. That's a good compromise, and that's what we strive for. We know we're not going to get 100% of the tax forgiven, but we do fight for the amount of tax that should be forgiven under the circumstances and given the taxpayer's financial situation. Like I said, it's very self-rewarding to get up in the morning and knowing you're doing, some righteous stuff. I tell all my employees, just do the right thing. If you just do the right thing all day long, you'll be able to go home and put your head on the pillow and sleep at night. A lot of our clients aren't sleeping at night because they have all these issues. IRS problems have a way of ruining all aspects of one's life. Usually someone who has IRS problems usually has other debt problems. They have credit card debt problems. They may be or are probably behind in their mortgage or rent payment. They may have a utility shut-off notice, from the gas company or the electric company. Their landline phone may have been turned off. And these are folks that are married, may have children, and with the IRS breathing down their neck and garnishing their paycheck or just emptying their bank account, how does the government expect them to live? How does the government expect them to provide for their family, put a roof over their head and food on the table? And that's where we come in. We're like an emergency room for people with tax problems. We're like the ER department. And we know how to spread out, get everything done, get the levies released, get the taxes filed, and then work out a payment plan or an offer in compromise. We get some of the penalties removed, all of them removed. It could be a wife who had no guilt whatsoever due to her husband's failings. Meanwhile, she's on the hook because she signed a tax return with him. So a lot of our cases are innocent spouse cases that we're able to favorably resolve. These are the things that I love doing.